It was really good until it wasn't. It's an album by Kehlani. It is 15 songs long, 40 minutes long, and
Yeah, 39 minutes. It's interesting.
interesting is quite the word for it. The theme of this album is one of those like accidental haphazard love
Yeah,
stories
yeah,
kind of thing
exactly.
where it's all of the like dysfunction and sort of insanity that can come from like being super
Like,
love crazy about things.
yeah, and then but it not playing out, basically.
Yeah, and then, like all the heartbreak and stuff that too. So
Yes.
it's a
A roller coaster of emotions of a relationship that is not going to pan out.
yeah, and a very very trodden ground for pop music and R&B music. So it's kind of the
Yeah,
genre. It's there.
the saturated market.
Yeah. Um, it,
Toxic is a good song. I like the opening a lot, actually.
you do.
Yeah, I thought it set it in the right foot because it's like this love is toxic, and so goes kind of on and on about that. But it kind of sets up the mood of the album, but the production, everything in it, I really enjoyed that first track because the album goes back and forth between doing some like little skits in the middle, which some of the skits I actually really like, where the skit sets up the song for what it's going to be about. And then there's other parts where some of them are just kind of bland poppiness.
It's
With
like ad libbing. You're
yeah,
talking
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
like in this. It's supposed to be like, oh, this is what I'm saying in the studio as I'm like recording my thoughts down on a piece of paper or whatever.
yeah. Well, there's one I liked. Belong to the Street skit where before Everybody's
Oh
Business 7 and 8.
yeah,
I really liked that because it was going on about how people judge you stuff, especially when you're a star on your social media and this and that, or if you're explaining things, blah blah blah. Everybody judges
dating
you.
different people
Yeah,
constantly.
yeah, exactly. So and then it popped up, and then the song Everybody Business is it's great for that because it shows somebody who just basically doesn't give a fuck about what they post or whatever they share about their own personal life, and you shouldn't have to be constantly judged by it because you want to share it.
Yeah.
So that one I really I thoroughly enjoyed.
Right before that, I think the first song I really liked, like
Just
really truly got excited about,
change
was
your life
Water on this.
or
No, a
water.
little before that.
Yeah, yeah.
Water. Change Your Life with Jenny Aiko was all right. Jenny Aiko. We've reviewed her album before and it was pretty good. But Water just kind of felt like it had the right energy while kind of fitting
Mm-hmm.
into being sort of a 2020 sounding song.
Two
With that
minutes short. Like,
short using minimal elements of the song to actually fill the song in
mm-hmm.
and kind of create the music. I liked that it was doing that, and that's the sort of thing is on previous Kehlani albums, like While We Wait, I I felt like there was a little bit more of a musical journey to be had, whereas this was just like tried and true. We're making like popular R&B music,
Pretty
popular in the
much.
sense that like the theme is so overdone that doesn't really elicit a lot of like excitement. It's just like the
No.
way Kalani's describing it, and like there are female artists of color who can describe this very well and do it a lot better in albums too.
For
So
example, Jhené Aiko, because I think a bunch of her songs from her album earlier this year were amazing compared to this, where there
yeah,
are good songs in this for sure, but it's not going to stand out because the market is so saturated for it, and the people who are doing it are like
really good. Like
really
Malala's
good.
another I can think of off the
Yeah,
top of my head. It's really good. It's so there aren't that I will commend her for this. She's taking there's a good balance of artists that are featuring on here. Good balance, not necessarily being my choices. I could have probably gone without Tory Lanez, but Janae Aiko is great, Masego is great, Lucky Dia is great. The James Blake Grieving
it's
duet
just
is
yeah,
real.
yeah.
It's interesting. I kind of liked it.
No, I'm not. It's interesting
You
because I didn't think like when I saw that it was featuring James Blake, but when I just looked at the album, I didn't think it was going to work, but it worked very well. I like that song a lot.
yeah. The Lucky Day song I also kind of expected to be a little bit more like stand out a bit because I really do like Lucky Day, but it was just sort of whatever. You will not find YG on this album, as you'll remember earlier this year we were talking about how they did an album with, or they released a single with a collab right before Valentine's Day, and they broke up right after Valentine's Day.
That was the
Um,
funniest shit.
and so like it was with that context that I kind of think of this album. I think it was not like one of these like quarantine albums where it was done just
Nope,
in this past
nope.
couple of time, but I think it was with this like bumpy sort of hard to look at kind of love in mind that she created this album. And it's a nice like sort of exercise in that if this wasn't like minimum the 19th album I've reviewed of that topic on this podcast, and that's to say nothing of the hundreds of albums I've heard that try to do the same thing.
Yeah, it's hard when we've heard that we've heard so many albums with the theme and whatnot, but it's not saying that this is bad. It's just we've heard too much.
Yeah, so it's just like the topic didn't.
It didn't resonate with other artists that have done it,
or resonate as well. And,
definitely not. But it's
Kehlani's also had like I'll just say like her other album before is a lot better than this.
Her previous albums
While We Wait,
and previous works, especially While We Wait was amazing.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna call this the arbitrary scale is fast planes.
Yeah, the fastest. So the reason why Musk has 812 in his name is because the 812 is the precursor to the SR-71, which is the fastest airplane basically ever made, minus the X-15, but that has rockets on the back, so it doesn't really count.
There's something about Grimes, like it's a really fast plane, but it doesn't have weapons on it, so it's like a spy plane.
It's a spy plane, yeah. And it's the reason why.
So it's like fast, but like I guess peaceful in that way.
Well, yeah,
so that's like the thought behind this dumb name.
That's hilarious. Anyway, so yeah, our arbitrary scale are the fastest planes, basically. So pick a plane. If it's fast, go. So what is this for you?
I'm going to go with the General Dynamics F-111.
The 111? Yeah, solid plane. I'm going with the North American XB-70 Valkyrie because it never really worked. It was a gorgeous plane, right? But like there was also a giant accident with this plane where North American was doing a little photo shoot with the plane, and it had two other planes beside it, and the pilot didn't see because it had really weird sloped wings coming back down, and he didn't notice when he was drifting up and accidentally hit it, and it exploded the plane. And it was just there's too many issues with it and everything, so it never really took off because it was supposed to replace the B-52 for a bomber, but like
so it's like the Aventador of planes.
Yeah, it was like the Aventador of planes. That's a decent comparison.
Mostly because like you can't see out the sides.
You definitely cannot. It's a gorgeous plane though. It's freaking huge.
Yeah, like I'm not a sick Lambos guy, but like the Aventador, it's a name. It's an eye catching thing.
Yes.
But you can't see shit out of it.